it's still a substance that literally kills your brain cells. So what are we even arguing about? I'm sorry, but that's complete BS. So apparently one of the biggest cannabis influencers on YouTube quit weed.
I quit smoking weed.
And that sounds super interesting as someone who used to be addicted for almost a decade and managed to quit now. I'm curious what this person has to say. Since he is an influencer, I mean, it's a pretty drastic change for him to go the opposite way. So I'm very curious to see what he has to say. And so in this video, I'll give you my raw and unfiltered opinion and thoughts on what he has to say. So without wasting any time, let's just get straight into it.
When people talk about cannabis, they speak about it like it's a very harmless substance. The part that nobody talks about is what happens when you start consuming it at such a young age. There is 100% a correlation with the way consumption affects your brain development.
I completely agree with that. See, the thing is, I started at the age of 14. I am 26 now, so my brain has been fully grown. So the thing is, thinking of it right now, I think, as weird as this may sound, I think I could have been way sharper than I am right now if I had not smoked at the age of 14 till till the age of 22 or something. Like if I didn't smoke during those crucial times, because I do agree with him what he's saying that like nobody talks about this. What happens to you when you smoke during like your most important developmental stages, right? I feel smoking weed at a young age definitely impacted my brain, and I don't think it's in the most positive way.
So anything you do before that, like drinking or substance abuse, is gonna have an effect on your brain development. And I noticed this with a lot of my friends. It feels like they struggled a lot to become adults and just mature. And now at 28 years old, I feel like I'm getting hit with a brick wall because all of a sudden I'm having all these new thoughts and like realizations of maturity.
Yes, I completely agree with that. I think this ties back into the idea that smoking weed numbs you, right? It numbs literally like your amygdala. It's like a small part inside of your prefrontal cortex, and basically the amygdala is like the thing that's responsible for your emotions or like the regulation of your emotions. The best way how you can see it is like this knob that like decides when certain emotions should like arrive in your body and disappear. So to give you like an example, for instance, let's say a fight is happening right in front of my eyes. What will happen is my amygdala will turn like fear and caution emotions inside of my brain, very stupidly said. And so I will feel fear and be cautious, right? Because my brain wants me to survive. And so that's this whole surviving mechanism thing, right? But what will happen is if I smoke weed, that thing will get reduced. And so I think if you smoke chronically on the long term, right, what happens is like you get constantly, especially if you're like a daily smoker, like someone who smokes every day basically, used to be one as well. If you're someone like that, you chronically numb your amygdala, basically like the knob that's regulating your emotions. And thus, as he mentions, like certain realizations you probably would have had already, but smoking weed numb that and prevents that. And so 100% completely agree. I also had that. After I managed to quit, I realized like, oh my God, I'm having those realizations, but those I think I could have had those realizations way earlier. And that also ties back into the idea that it slows down your development or even prevents it. I should say, I would argue to say.
Now I'm gonna take full accountability here because I've always been a believer that cannabis doesn't affect your productivity or who you are as a person. That's really just a reflection of
Cannabis doesn't affect your capabilities to be productive. Okay, I'm curious. Let's see what he has to say.
But what it does do is it enhances your personality. So if you naturally have a personality to be lazy, you're gonna be extra lazy when you're faded. If you have a personality to like to eat a lot of food, you're gonna eat a lot more food when you're faded.
I'm sorry, but that's complete BS. Like I'm trying. I kind of understand what he's trying to say. I was following him. I was following him up until like the point where he was talking about the development thing, but here, not at all. See, like there could be many reasons why you're lazy. Lazy is not like a personality trait. The same thing with wanting to eat, It's not a personality trait. But anyways.
Over the last couple years, I've just developed so many bad habits because what happens is you start to grow up, you start to mature, and all of a sudden you have new problems, new stresses that you weren't dealing with before when you first started getting faded. So what do? You're working out less, you're eating less healthy, you're spending more time getting...
I mean, for me, it's interesting. He talks about being productive while smoking weed. Am I the only one to assume that that's kind of crazy? Like, how do you assume to be productive while smoking weed? I mean, I'm not taking away from from there being a possibility that you can do that, but it's like, let's say you're a car and you want to move forward, metaphorically speaking, right? It's like pushing the gas and the brake pedal at the same time. I don't know. I feel like an idiot for like even like saying that, but isn't that obvious? I mean, there's like plenty of research that suggests that cannabis like slows you down in every single aspect of your life, you know? You're literally like frying your brain, I would argue. Let's continue.
Holy shit, maybe I'm not using the plant properly like I was before.
How about just not using the plant at all? Mr. THC, if you're watching this, you're literally saying that it's not bad. It just makes me wonder what's the benefit then. I saw in your description that you mentioned that marijuana, smoking weed, helped you create a lot of bonds and make new friends and all that good stuff. And so it's like a big reason why you connected with so many other people, right? But can do that also without weed, no? Why do you need a substance that literally kills you and poisons you in the long term to connect with people? That doesn't seem like a benefit to me. That just seems like something, yeah, that just seems to me as if you're pushing the gas and the brake pedal at the same time. Yeah, I don't get it.
I've ran into a lot of supporters that'll tell me, yo, I used to watch your videos all the time and then I just stopped getting faded. And it really got me to thinking, right? As somebody who loves this plant, as somebody who's been consuming for such a long time, I really got to thinking and I was like, people quit consuming because they never build a good relationship with the plant. When life gets hard.
But of course, it kills you. What are we even like talking about? Quitting weed kills you in the long term. Am I an idiot to assume that? I mean, here's the thing. I'm not saying that you can't smoke. Like, smoke, of course, like, everybody can do whatever they want. But, like, if you mention that it, like, took so much away from you and mentioned what you just basically mentioned, to me, it obviously sounds that it's not benefiting you in the long term. Like, what's the benefit? Why, like, keep smoking? You know, there's no benefit to it. Again, I don't understand it. Why is he advocating for it?
Blame all their problems on the plant. Oh, I'm not fit because I smoke weed. Oh, I'm not productive because I smoke weed. No, you don't know how to build a proper relationship with the plant.
I mean, obviously, if you're like not fit and all of those things, it will amplify. But even if you're not fit, even if your life sucks and you smoke, it will hold you back. That's not even a question. And even if you change your relationship with it and do it a couple of times, or not as much as you used to do, it will still hold you back. I mean, I'll be honest, I do respect him for what he's saying, you know, like he's advocating to change your relationship with it and be more cautious with it. And for that, I really, really, really respect him. Mr. THC, I do respect you, man. But the thing is, why just not quit at all? Why just like having like, I think, you know, like having like your foot on the gas and the brake at the same time. I mean, I wouldn't say it's worse, but it's not a pleasant thing to be in, you know? It's like the same thing that I have when I go to the gym. And after the gym, I see people like smoking a cigarette. I'm like, how? You're literally intoxicating yourself with poison. You're literally putting like the most disgusting stuff in your body that literally kills you. It's not only nicotine. Apparently in cigarettes, there are like 80 different substances that can cause cancer, you know, that can trigger cancer and stuff. Why?
What is the proper amount to consume? I did the cold turkey method, which only worked.
There is no proper amount to consume. I'm happy he's advocating to like lessen, right? Again, not taking away from that, but there is no right amount. Please.
Cold turkey method probably worked the best for giving me the fastest results. After about a couple weeks of it, I started getting these insane migraines. I realized that I actually don't know how to deal with stress without the plant. I would get faded to deal with the stress, and not getting faded led to me just overthinking and going down this rabbit hole where I was so stressed out. I started creating migraines for myself.
The reason why that is because the moment you stop smoking, your body starts to readjust. And that's just a withdrawal. It's a good thing. Your body is starting to like process and do things to find other ways how to like deal with things, with the stress, with your problems, what he mentioned. Makes sense.
Really, what helped me the most was just taking a couple puffs. Now I know what you might say, well, that's addiction, bro. Your body's going through withdrawals. No, it was simply, I've relied on this plant for so long to deal with things like stress that I myself don't know how to deal with stress without the plant.
It's crazy. So he mentions that he literally mentions like withdrawal symptoms. So he literally like explains like it's not a withdrawal symptom, but then like gives like the explanation of a withdrawal symptom. Like if you can't handle like life without the plant, and then you just take a couple of puffs, then you just handle life again with the plant. And so all you were experiencing, Mr. THC, what I would say, is basically like a withdrawal symptom. Call me crazy?
So that led me to method number 2, consuming at night. I was able to still get faded. I was able to still deal with my stress at the end of the day.
See, what I realize is he keeps mentioning that he managed to deal with the stress, right? So he uses it literally. He like literally admits that smoking weed is like a tool to deal with the stress. But see, there are better ways how to deal with stress, literally. You can do other things. You don't have to intoxicate yourself with a substance that, again, literally poisons you, literally kills you in the long term, that literally like fries your brain. Am I crazy? I mean, fair enough. At the end of the day, as I mentioned, he still is advocating for you to be cautious, right? Because at the end of the day, it's, as he mentions, it's not as harmless as it sounds to be, as people make it, you know. Smoking weed is still dangerous. And so, fair enough. At least he's like advocating for you to be cautious. And with that, I 100% agree. But what I don't agree with is that you can like smoke weed and still be like productive. It's crazy to assume, like if you smoke weed, that it won't affect your productivity. Even if you do it in like small amounts, it will affect your productivity. Like, let's be real. Why just not quit at all? You know, like why just not quit forever and just not bother with it? Because here's the thing, as someone who smoked, I can say with confidence that once you quit forever, once you like let go of it, you know, like change your relationship as he says, but in a way where you just don't need it anymore, because that's the whole thing. There is this dependency that's been created. And once you learn to like take a step back from this dependency, deal in a sober way with reality as it should be, then what's the point of smoking besides intoxicating yourself?
This video is not meant to convince anybody that they should stop smoking.
See, like regulating is definitely like something I am pro for, you know, like regulate it, but even better, quit. Trust me, quit. There are way more benefits. As someone who quit himself, I can tell you with full confidence, there are way more benefits to you quitting forever than being dependent on something that kills you.
If you don't fix it, you're gonna end up in a situation where you're gonna be like, well, I quit because it's ruining my life. But little did you know, all you had to do was pump the brakes a little bit and really rebuild your relationship with this plant. I really want this video to just be a reminder that cannabis is a medicine.
Cannabis is a medicine? How? How? You know, to me, how this sounds, it's like this thing I hear everywhere or used to hear everywhere. Like, sure, because a substance has also like its positives, you know. Because of that reason, suddenly it starts being called a medicine. Or the same thing happens with food. You know, like certain foods are healthy for you. And so people start calling those medicines. But just because something is a food or has benefits or whatever, doesn't mean it's a medicine, you know? I don't know, that's a crazy statement to me. And honestly, I'll be honest with you, as someone who used to smoke himself as well back in the day, I also used to tell myself that. So it's not that I cannot relate to what he's saying. it's not true. Smoking weed is not a medicine. Consuming marijuana is not a medicine. Like, there is so much evidence and proof on THC, what it does to your body and brain, and especially in the long term, it's harmful. Come on, please. Let's be real.
So my biggest piece of advice is find your balance. Don't care what people say. At the end of the day, it's your body and you got to find your balance.
Yeah, completely agree with what he's saying here. I completely agree with what he's saying. For sure. Like, uh, see, worst case scenario for me is like, sure, find your balance. But at the same time, I'm also like, just quit it all. It's not worth it. But sure, start with that. Start with lessening, putting some brakes on it. It definitely can give you like a glimpse of how much more benefits there are to quitting, how much more benefits there are to not smoking at all.
I want to end off this video by sharing a quick story. Back in the day, I had a friend, quiet kid, and we started getting faded. Eventually, our tolerance got so high, we led to dabbing. He ended up going schizo. Coming to find out that the weed led to him going schizo. Now, truth of the matter is, that's something that people don't really like to talk about, but that's the truth. If people have like these mental problems already, weed could definitely lead to that breaking point of you going from a normal human to somebody who just completely loses their shit, right?
Thank you. Thanks for saying that, because it's the truth. Literally, weed can do that. Weed can be the cause, or like the last drip, or many drips that like fool the hammer and like make it like leak. At the end of the day, it's still a substance that literally kills your brain cells. So what are we even arguing about? Yes, yes, it can happen. And that's why I advocate for quitting completely. Because again, at the end of the day, what the thing with marijuana is, at least from my experiences, is the fact that, one joint makes you feel good. It doesn't like instantly like give like those negative effects, unlike other substances like Coke or alcohol. You don't really like suffer from hangovers. So it really like passes under the radar, I feel. Like it presumes itself as something like harmless. People normalize it. It's legal. You sleep better from it. You have good hunger pangs. Like you laugh, you chill. It seems harmless. I mean, it seems harmless on the surface, but underneath the surface, it's as damaging as other ones. Maybe not instantly, but over time, there are like so many things that don't benefit you, and so that's why I don't agree with Mr. THC at all. Because I mean, in terms of like that you should quit instead of like putting the brake. But at the end of the day, maybe Mr. THC is also just having his journey, and I'm pretty sure if it, here's the thing, Mr. THC, if you're watching this, see, I'm pretty sure there will come a moment in your life where you will cut it out completely. Because if you manage to come to the point where you realize, like, oh my God, but there are like so many benefits to being sober. I mean, benefits is just the norm, right? You should be sober to begin with, in my opinion. That's how you develop. Because even though your brain technically develops only till the age of 25, I would even argue it still goes on. And maybe not like in a, like in a noticeable way where you can like measure it, but your soul, your your being, that also keeps developing. Weed doesn't only like stop the development of like your brain, it stops every part of as a matter of opposite, it kills you. It slowly kills you. It slowly like sucks the soul out of you. So in that regard, I'm pretty sure there will come a moment where you will realize like, okay, but it's not worth the trade anymore, because it is a trade, in my opinion, at the end of the day. Like, you choose to smoke to intoxicate yourself with a substance that brings a lot of harm with itself, in order to cope, as Mr. THC mentioned, to deal with the stress, to fade out, right? So it's just not worth the trade. And I'm pretty sure Mr. THC, it's my prediction, there will come a moment when you'll cut it out as good as fully.
They say the best choices in life are calculated risks. So understand that nothing in life is 100% safe.
I agree with what he's saying. 100%. Nothing is like 100% risk free. But at the end of the day, you have way less risk, if that makes sense, while not smoking than smoking. Why just don't quit at all? Is what I would say. But then again, I think it's a journey. We all have our journey. I, for myself, can only say that quitting really, really changed my life in ways it's like hard to describe. And I think people are not seeing the other side of like being sober. People are not seeing like a reality of life still being as fun. They don't see the possibility that it's also possible sober, and maybe not in the exact same way, but that life is still even better. Or it is better. It is. Life is better sober. I promise you. There is way more to life. And smoking weed is not worth the trade. That being said, nothing to take away from Mr. THC. As a matter of fact, just the opposite. Lots of respect for putting out this warning message for people, right? I think people need to hear more like this. Even though I advocate for stopping completely, this is something people should hear more. It's a risk. There is a risk with it, right? Anyways, thanks for watching. Thanks for sticking. See you in the next one. Take care.